Hello everybody, this is Gummy Grizzly doing a little video in which I'm gonna show off a little bit of my artwork and photography as per special request. So let's get started. One of my favorite things to do is to draw using colored pencils on black paper. So I'm going to show you that right now. This one I did of a beach scene, and when it comes to using colored pencils on black paper, I like using high contrast, and I like doing just the outlines while letting the black paper show through on the body. As you can see, the only parts of this drawing that I filled in was the sand on the beach. And I just like, when drawing a sun on this stuff, I like to be a little silly with it by doing spirals. And as you can see, I'm filming this with a little tiny tripod on my bed because that's the best table I got right now. So the camera shakes a little bit, that's why. And here we got Mario mushrooms, of course. This one, I don't know why I never filled in the eyes, but I figured, I'll just leave it like that. You got, the power-up mushroom, the one-up, and this was originally supposed to be the poison mushroom in the Japanese version of Super Mario Bros. 2. This is just a little abstract doodle I did, trying to using a bunch of intersecting lines, turning at right angles. And with this one, I used a combination of colored pencils as well as metallic gel ink pens and Sharpies. You can probably see a little better here. Pretty much you can see the lines that pop out more are the metallic gel ink pens and Sharpies. And these two, I forget, these are from the video game Final Fantasy XII, one of my all-time favorites in that series. In fact, one of my all-time favorite games, period. I know a lot of people kind of poo-poo Final Fantasy XII in favor of other ones, but 12 is a personal favorite of mine. I could be a little bit biased since 12 was actually the very first Final Fantasy game I actually played through all the way to the finish. But yeah, these are two types of enemies you encounter. It's basically dudes with jack-o'-lantern heads. And of course, in the instance of when drawing characters like this, I will fill them in, of course. This one, doing a Twilight. I'm not really good at naming my drawings, so I just call this Mulberry Twilight. I just did the coloring in a little Twilight dome and mulberry, and doing a full moon in a metallic bronze Sharpie, leaving the black paper to show through, doing the outlines of the trees with the metallic silver Sharpie. This one, basically just did the outline of a wolf sitting on a rock with a giant full moon around him. and then filling in the moon, while the wolf and the rock are the black paper coming through. This one, weeping willow tree. Of course, this one I filled in the little grassy mound that the tree's sitting on. And I did the trunk in outline. While doing the strands, the vine strands, with a metallic bronze Sharpie. And then doing the leaves with different colored green pencils, if you can see that a little bit. This one is two friends sitting on the beach, or actually not a beach, sitting on a grassy hill overlooking ocean. This one I did a little bit different take with the sun, just a circle. And then of course the clouds, doing just the outlines while letting the black show through. Same thing with the water, just the horizon line and the wave lines. And this, of course, for those of you who like NHL hockey, will probably recognize this as the logo for the Minnesota Wild, my number 2 favorite NHL team. Number 1 favorite being the New Jersey Devils, but I haven't gotten around to drawing out their logo just yet. I did the Minnesota Wild because I think their logo looks the coolest. You know how you have the whole thing in the shape of a bear, but you can see the outline. It's like a forest with a moon in kind of a twilight setting. And this, of course, for those of you who ever played or seen play the highly underrated Final Fantasy IX, this is Vivi. Pull the camera back a little bit. It took me a good while to fully draw him, but eventually I did. Took about 5 tries to finally get it to look like this. But yeah, that is Vivi. And some more Final Fantasy stuff. Got a cactuar running across the desert plains. Main inspiration being from Final Fantasy X, the second Final Fantasy game I ever played from beginning to end. And of course, this is one of the few drawings where I filled everything in. And of course, for those football fans, I got the Carolina Panthers logo. I decided to do the Panthers logo because, you know, drawing with colored pencils on black paper, you know, happens to, you know, write itself for Carolina's logo. You know, all I had to do was draw and fill in the blue parts and the white parts while letting the black paper do all the rest. And yet more stuff from Final Fantasy XII, the menacing tomato monster. Basically a ragdoll dude with a tomato head. This is just doing something with guitar, bass guitar specifically, as the tree trunk leading up to the tops of the trees here. And figured it'd be a little bit something to do since I play bass guitar. This is a little inverted world. I figure I'd just, draw a mystical looking guy with a magic cane standing on the clouds upside down with the snow-capped mountains up above him and the clouds and the sun below him. And that is what I have so far in that. Definitely intend on adding more, of course. Now let's move on to the photography. Just a few stuff that I bothered to have printed off. Close up on a cactus plant. This one I like a lot. Got a close-up of a seagull in the parking lot where I work at. And here, of course, got the pier near where I live. Right in the morning. Nice little duplex. The Grand 14 Cinema, the primary movie theater I go to. "'Twas a dark and stormy night." This was, probably can't tell what it is here, but this was a close-up of a little puddle on some pavement that I had taken. This would be the close-up on the top of a straw hat. As you can probably tell, when it comes to photography, I like doing lots of either landscape shots or macro shots. It's one of my friends' cats named Limbo. A little night shot taking some cars over a long exposure to get that light. And this one I like. This is of one of my cats named Riddick. And this one I got an action shot of him while he was in the middle of a yawn. And that is it for that. So that's what I have so far. Hope you all enjoyed this little show and tell, impromptu show and tell in the middle of the night. And so with that, I'll let the Kelly girl send us off. Night night.